Top of the evening to you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on yet another edition of this your Outlook State of the State on this channel. I am Sunday Kolawole. Today we'll be taking a closer look at the prevailing circumstances and the issues happening in and around the polity of the Nigerian state. Joining me in the conversation is a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress APC, Honorable Sunday Adejigbe. It's good to have you again.
My brother, I need it's always a pleasure to be on your program.
2 Sundays meet, right?
Yeah.
All right then. Let's shoot and get to the heart of the matter. In the last 1 week, so many things have been happening in the Nigerian state. One of such that has been gaining traction has been the issues surrounding the trial of the leader of the proscribed group, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu. But before we get into that conversation, we'd like to start from the home front. It's such on a very sad note. Horrible accident in Akungba, which claimed many lives. Our hearts are with the people there, the university community, and everyone who has lost one person or the other in the incident. May God Almighty comfort them and also grant everyone quick recovery who are being treated in the hospital. Now, for you, Honorable Adejigbe, is it not troublesomely heavy that this sad scenario is still happening in the annals of that community?
Yeah, it's actually a very sad story. And this thing has been a recurrence in the past that, well, I think at the time the government would have been able to find a solution to that. I think there was this barricade placed along that route, and the heavy-duty vehicle should not be able to pass through that. So why? So because when I heard about it, because I thought heavy-duty vehicles have been barred from passing through that particular road. So what really happened? The issue of this Dangote truck. Again, was he forcibly trying to force himself to pass through that route?
Well, that barrier has been exposed. Just this afternoon, the group had to come up with a statement refuting ownership of that truck.
Okay.
Well, in any case, it did explain that the truck was carrying crushed stones, whose package were carrying different brand names, and that its own fleet of trucks always have a way of identification and all of that. But then, beyond the issue of ownership, don't you think the community also has something to do with this matter? Why and how did the barricade got off the way? There are insinuations in certain quarters that some powerful elements removed the barricade at the point.
Our collecting tolls.
What exactly is the problem?
Yeah, I heard about that too, that because the barricade was there, and I learned it was the people, or some strong people in that community that removed the barrier and were collecting tolls. Look, alleged, I don't know, but these were part of the things I heard. And even if that is actually true, I think the government should go deeper into that, investigate, and make sure that people that had that were punished. Because the place had been barricaded, and heavy trucks were not supposed to pass through the place. Because in 5-6 years ago, it was actually a recurrent. Almost every other day or every other week, we had such accidents. And I thought the government had been able to find a permanent solution to it. So how this happened now, I think the government must go deep into it.
Well, one of the problems we have in this country is about actions and inactions not having consequences. To my mind, this is the time that the government of Ondo State must prove that indeed it has the will, whether political or economic or human face, so to say, in dealing with this matter. Because losing such lives isn't something that should really be coming up at any time, not even at a time like this. So, do you think government has the will, whether political or economic?
Of course, I think the present administration will certainly not joke with this kind of a thing, and I want to trust that they will take action on it.
Shouldn't something be done with the issue of the community alleged involvement?
That is what I'm saying. That the government will have to go deeper into it, identify the people involved in removing the barrier, and identify actually if they were collecting toll, and apportion the appropriate punishment if there are people that are found guilty.
Well, to what extent should also be the need to see to it that young people also take active involvement or active participation in securing their community. I watched the video of one of the young people there saying that over and again he has been the one that's been pushing against some people wanted to forcefully take that route when they are not supposed to.
Yeah, I think it's okay, but at that stage too, because I watched it as well,
Okay.
the guy will have gone a step further to report to the appropriate authority.
Well, he did say he reported to the police authorities.
Well, then
He was saying that in the presence of the commissioner.
yeah. So I think they should also be involved, and those people, the DPO or whoever that's involved, should also be found culpable. They should be found culpable because they are accessories to.
So they should have acted.
Yes, because
earlier.
if those people had been reported to the police, the next step probably the police would have reported to the local government chairman or local government authority, who will have been able to bring the EU to the state, because I know it was the state during Aketi that put the barrier there. Yeah, so they should have reported to the state, and maybe a stitch in time would have saved 9.
Should have saved more than 9.
Yeah.
Well, sad, I must say, and
Yeah, sorry.
unfortunately we had to start on that note.
Okay.
Our hearts with them, everyone who got injured in the accident, and with every family who lost 1 or 2 loved ones in the incident. But what is more, if you see something, say something. If the way and manner people use protests, if protests had actually been used when the barricade was removed, maybe that would have saved more than 9. It should have been much more than a stitch in time.
Yeah.
Saving just 9. We do hope that in the coming days, and rest assured that we will keep a tab on the matter to see how well it will be dealt with and handled. That said, we move on to other issues. Well, I did say the Dangote Group also came up to say it's not the owner of the,
it's okay.
of the truck.
But there was Dangote inscription on the truck, I think.
Well, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I saw a truck,
what is
grey
the
color,
is?
and well, it could.
I think investigations will reveal all of the
those
truth
things, yeah.
as far as this matter is concerned.
Okay.
But then I think one thing also stands very instructive in the statement of Dangote Group. It did not just refute ownership of that truck; it did show empathy, compassion, especially looking at the gravity of the matter. Okay. Now let's quickly go outside the shores of Ondo State and look at other issues happening in the Nigerian state. Nnamdi Kanu has been in the eye of the storm for roughly a decade now in a trial related to alleged terrorism. Now he says it's taking over the issue of representation by himself, technically meaning that he has sacked his legal team, so to say, or they have withdrawn. So he has also listed some eminent political and security figures in Nigeria, including Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the Minister of FCT, Nyesom Wike, former Chief of Army Staff, that's Tuko Buratai, and many others like that. What's the implication of this long list of witnesses as Nnamdi Kanu agrees to start to open his defense in the alleged terrorism charge against him by the federal government?
Well, I have to be truthful here, and I will have to say my mind. I think actually Nnamdi Kanu is just trying to turn the whole trial to a skit.
A skit?
Yes, it's a pre-planned thing. And you know, let me tell you this. Kanu has been deliberately delaying his trial. So when Sowore came, I was just wondering, who has been delaying this trial? If you have followed the process since he was charged, he kept coming up with one objection or the other. And even at times, the way he shouts at his lawyers, you find out that they are kind of delaying the legal process. Because I think they think there is enough evidence. And if the case is quickly concluded, there is likelihood that he might be jailed. This is somebody that was arranged. He was granted bail. This Senator Abaribe came to stand in for him, and he jumped bail. He ran to Kenya, or he ran to the UK, or whichever country he went to. He was tricked to Kenya, where he was abducted and brought to Nigeria. the trial resumed again. But one way or the other, his legal team has been trying to put impediments in advancing. It got to a time the judge supervising the case had to hands off. They had to bring in another judge. And from that, they have been trying to, one way or the other, stall. Now, what has Fashola got to do with it? Witness as what? What is Wike, who was governor of Rivers State?
No, Sanwo-Olu, not Fashola in this case.
Sorry, Sanwo-Olu, who was not even a governor when you started all this your IPOP thing. What has Wike got to do with it? What has the other witness that has no relevance?
No, you never can tell. Maybe he has. Maybe he has something. If feels could really be relevant in what
it is something that is very clear to everybody. It is something that is very obvious to everybody. Look at some of the charges when during the NSAS campaign, the protest. Everybody had recordings of the way he incited people. When they went to Bon TVC, everybody had videos of when he was sort of inciting people. That is accessory to treason. Inciting people, go and burn this place, go and get a gun, go and do this. The videos are all over the place. Was it Sanwo-Olu that pushed him to do such things? He had Radio Biafra. He was using it to incite insurgency, that people should rise against the state, against the nation. So these are things that's why I said he's turning it to a skit. You have Agabi, a well-learned son, you pushing him away. You have an array of intelligent lawyers. He said you are pushing them away. You want to defend yourself. The judge even offered that, okay, let's give you another lawyer. He said no. That you want to so he's turning it to a joke, to a skit, because at the end of the day he's just using, to me, trying to delay the trial. And I think that is a kind of, I said it was a planned something. The Showore in first came in, and
so you feel the way and manner Showore's name is coming into this picture is part of what you call it.
Of course, a pre-planned arrangement. So when you just come in from the blues, it is a kind of pre-planned, a well-written script. It was pre-planned. Okay, so we'll go and start this. And, well, it didn't succeed. Because I'm not even sure if Showore was able to gather up to 200 people to join him in that protest. They were trying to incite the populace and maybe bring out the kind of NSAS thing. But obviously it failed. Now, the next stage is, okay, in court today, said, I don't want any lawyer. I don't want, what aspect of the law does he know? People that have no relevance to the case. Is it the person that will put them in the witness box and interrogate them? And what section of the law is he going to quote? So he's just trying to use delay, because I believe they don't want the trial to go on. They are trying to look for a political solution. That is just it. A kind of political solution. Okay, later they want to force the government to a negotiation table, and because if the trial goes on, there are enormous evidence to jailing.
Well, the court will decide that.
I believe
some time.
Yeah, but they are trying to delay the justice. That's what I term all this kind of a skit to be.
You still term it a skit?
Yeah, it's a skit.
Do you think it was not in the right of Showore to protest against whatever he feels he wants to protest against?
Of course.
In this case, the continued detention of Nnamdi Kanu.
Showore is a perpetual protester. So if you want to fight against anything, you can always call Showore and give him the contract. Please, let's also organize a protest.
Contract?
Well, help us organize a protest, and it will.
Are you insinuating he was paid to?
I'm not saying that.
You don't protest for Nnamdi Kanu.
No, he might not be paid. It doesn't really mean he has
because
to be
you
paid.
use the word contract.
A contract does not actually follow with money. Yeah, of course, it can be a kind of mutual contract.
Okay.
Showore wants to contest for the president. He might use that to negotiate for the votes of the Igbos. It can be too sure. It can be anything. but it's just a kind of way to gain relevance. So, but what Sowore did was that how a matter or a case is in court, are you now trying to force the judge to now give judgment in your favor? Are you trying to influence the judge? And so saddening is a lawyer that knows the law, that even is a party to that case in the court of Justice Omotosho, now going to protest a lawyer. I think the Nigerian legal body should actually look into that, because I'm sure it needs to be reprimanded. You are a lawyer, you are a party to that case, you are appearing before that justice in the court, and yet you are outside protesting. So what is your job? You are protesting. You are now trying to force the judge to give judgment in your favor, or what? You are now trying to intimidate him. You see, that is it. So I'm really surprised. I think the NBA or whoever is responsible should take that matter up and reprimand that lawyer. Though he's in court now, I think it has been arranged, because look at even a lawyer. A judge gave a judgment. Fine, it is good for you to protest, but don't go near so and so. They were given space. Protest here, don't go near there. Yet you broke that law, and you are a lawyer, and a judge gave a judgment. So you should know that maybe they are just trying to intimidate the federal government or the presidency.
Do you think the federal government has been able to really handle this matter properly, especially looking at the long process of this litigation?
Well, let me tell you this. I actually took my time to look at, and like I said earlier, it is the Kanu side that has been delaying the speedy trial of this case. There were times he would say he doesn't want this judge, and that one dragged in, and another judge was brought in. There was time he appealed, he sought for bail. It was granted bail, the federal government went to appeal. Again, he brought another thing, that the court does not have the jurisdiction to try him because he was abducted from Kenya. He brought that up, but the judge ruled, fine, but we can try you. So he kept bringing in something. Do you know that the actual trial has not started for the past 6 years? Because they keep bringing in something to delay it. And now when Omotosho said, look, I want to commence this trial, you came in today and said, look, you don't want any lawyer. So you should know it's a kind of a skit. That's why I call it a skit. The trial has not, the court has been in court for the past 5-6 years. Each time they bring in something to delay it. Now Omotosho got through so he said, okay, I'm going to start this trial. Bring in your witnesses, bring this. You said you don't have any lawyer. You want to defend yourself. And now, list of witnesses, you brought up funny names.
You never can tell what exactly propelled those names.
Yeah, well, let's watch and see. But you find out
that's just the right word.
But I know those people have no relevance to what is being charged of.
Why do you think so?
More so, he's bringing them in as his own witness. Please. He's bringing them. How is someone going to? How is it going to be with your witness and speak in the witness box in your support? Please, how is Wike going to be in the witness box and speak in your support? Because your witness is supposed to come and speak in your support. So why are you bringing such people? So that's why I say it's a whole skit. If you are serious, you know the people to bring. You don't bring, for example, we are both in court. Maybe you took me to court and you are asking my wife to come and be your witness. For what? Or you are asking my children to come and be your witness. So it's funny. So that's why I called it a skit.
Could that be why he has asked for a 90-day window to prepare his defense and then enter his defense?
Yeah, because
maybe because of the encumbrances that he might encounter in getting all of his witnesses together.
No, they've given them enough time. And Justice Omotosho is determined to start this case and do away with it. And that is why they are now bringing up this impediment. They are now coming up with such series of things. That's why Showore suddenly woke up. Why hasn't Showore protested since all this days? Why now that Omotosho says, okay, we are starting the proceedings? Why hasn't he protested? Now we are getting towards a conclusion. And now they are coming up with all these funny things. Protest, I don't need any lawyer, I'm going to defend myself. Bringing up witnesses that, obviously, the same people you are fighting against, the same institution, the same establishment you are fighting. Because Sanwo-Olu belongs to the institution they are fighting. Sanwo-Olu is part of the Yoruba people that he calls imbeciles and fools and uses all kind of of names on. So it's very funny to me.
Now that Showore has been picked up again today by security operatives, does that also have a link with the protest for the release of Nnamdi Kanu? Or do you think it might be picked up to really answer for some other things?
Well, maybe the police will have to tell us why he was picked today, but Showore is their customer. So, and I don't think he enjoys being picked. He enjoys the publicity. That's the way I would see it.
He enjoys the publicity?
The publicity, yeah. He enjoys being picked because maybe that kind of high is rating as a social activist or human rights activist or whatever he calls himself. So he enjoys being picked and he enjoys the publicity.
Let's come back home somehow. Yeah. Very important matter is also happening at the home front. There was a leaked memo by the Department of State Services, and then, some are saying it's out of place for that memo to have even leaked in the first place. But some security experts are also coming up to say it might be part of the strategy to get it leaked so that the people planning such heinous crimes will know that their secrets are out. But then, whichever way the pendulum is swinging on that matter, isn't it high time that indeed government up its ante in ensuring proper security of lives and property of the people, even without such threat from external aggressors?
Well, I believe you're talking about the CSS memo that some group of, let's be specific, ISWAP are trying to attack Ondo and Kogi states. And I don't believe it was leaked. It was a deliberate release by the DSS. And I once told somewhere that there are two reasons.
Do you think it could have been a deliberate leak by the DSS?
Yes, it is.
Why then was it addressed specifically to the Brigadier General in charge of 13th Artillery Brigade?
Yeah, because they want to use the opportunity to exonerate themselves. Most times when there are insurgent attacks, the DSS will come after that to say, we have warned them, we have notified them. And the security forces involved might eventually deny and say, we didn't know. Most times the DSS will say, I remember an incident in Benue State. The DSS came out to say, we have notified the Army Brigade, they have notified the police, and at least they have, and at the end of the day, most people might come out to deny. But this one now, they are making it public for people to know that, okay, even these people are going to deny, we have notified them. That is number one. Okay. Then number two, they are trying to sensitize the people. That look, be cautious, be careful. Watch whatever goes around you. If you notice anything suspicious, or you see people that are moving in suspicious manner, please quickly inform security agents. So at least with the way it has been released now, people are conscious. People in Kogi, people in they named these 3 local governments in Akoko.
Eriti Akoko and so.
Oye, Akoko and so. The likely spots, those people are going to be attacked. The people there now are aware. They will be on the lookout. If they notice any strange movement, if they notice any kind of people they know are not, they don't know in that community, it will be their responsibility now to quickly inform the security agency. That is another reason why I believe. Then the third one is to at least make the security the security agencies concerned to be prepared. Now, the army, the brigade commander here will not say they didn't hear. They will be prepared, and I expect them now to fortify the security in those areas. And finally, the people that are even planning the attack, now they will know
the secret is open.
Is open. So it is either they strategize, they cancel whatever they have in mind, and at least one way or the other, even if they are planning an attack, it's either they delay it or they cancel it, or they know that certainly, but they are not going to do that immediately now.
Isn't it worrisome, that the issue of incessant terror attacks or planned terror attacks is now becoming the order of the day, not just in the Corn-Off, but now in Southwest, North Central. Remember what goes on in Kwara State. Isn't it a worrisome trend?
Very, very worrisome. More so, like we are particularly noticing a trend that it is gradually moving south through Kwara, Kogi. Now they want to enter the Southwest. Because the kind of havoc they did in Kwara, in those communities, you know, is it out there or something? There was this community, they wreaked serious havoc some few weeks ago. And gradually, let them walk back. To me, they are now moving, and we have been warned that they are moving. And gradually, it seems as if that is what is going to happen. Because if that kind of thing that they did in Kwara happens in Ondo State, men, Osun should be ready. You should be ready. So this is the time now that the federal government has to take this thing seriously.
Is it a case of federal government? That I've been waiting to hear that from you all along. Most times, public commentators, analysts, and social events observers are always quick to talk about the federal government. When we talk about security, in every state, the governor is deemed to be the chief security officer.
It is
I know sometimes you will say it's a paper war.
It's a paper security officer.
Let's look at it this way, Adobadeji.
Yeah.
Most times, you also hear these things, that what's been the order of the day in the past is no longer what it is. That states now get
money
much more money
from
the federation account. So shouldn't also there be much more being done?
And most of them have
those states.
Most of them have even increased their security votes. Most of the governors have increased their security votes. Fine. But what I'm saying is that the governors, they are called the chief security.
Let me get that quite well. They've increased their security votes
to
themselves or to the security agencies in their states.
To both the security agencies and their security votes, because there are more security issues to attend to.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Because there are more security issues to attend to, at least they have increased their security. I know there was a time maybe 10 million security votes, but it's much more than that now, at least. And I'm not saying they are not spending it judiciously, because I know our governor bought over 50 Helios vehicles for all the security agencies in Ondo State at the time. But what I'm saying is that the governors are just paper security, chief security officers.
How do you mean?
Because the security agencies are directly under the federal government. They receive orders from above. I'm telling you, the brigade commander here does not receive direct instruction from the governor. It has to be from the GOC, Second Mechanized Division in Badon, and ultimately to the chief of army staff, chief of defense staff. Even if the governor wants him to do it, he will still take clearance. The same thing with the police. The governor cannot directly instruct him without taking permission from the Inspector General of Police. Well, it is only when they want funds, that they will say the governor is or maybe they are just minor political issues. You understand? That is when the governor can. And they are the people that have the kind of ammunitions that can. The ones that the governors really have direct control and security over is the local security network, Amotekun in this case. But what are the kind of arms or ammunitions that the Amotekun are carrying? Though they are using their native intelligence and they are doing a very beautiful work. But it's not because they are carrying AK-47, because they are not permitted to do that. You know, understand? They are not permitted to carry other sophisticated weapons. So, certainly, as the chief security officer of the state, there is a limit to what they can control over the security agencies. You understand? So that is why we keep advocating for state police. And that is we keep saying, let the federal government devolve powers to the states, devolution of powers. And this should start, even if they are not talking about resource control now, let us start with state police. Let the state be able to manage their own police, then they will be able to give direct instruction. And say, okay, look, by tomorrow morning I want 100 men in Oyakoko, I want 100 men in, I want those people flushed out. If the state governor calls the brigade commander here and says, by tomorrow morning, you say, yes, sir, but he will still call Ibadan. The GOC there to take order or instruction. The same thing with the police. Even the same thing with the NCDC. So they are just calling the governor's chief security officer, but the federal government still has absolute control over the security agencies.
But the relative control that they have, do you think governors are really doing enough, especially in terms of reinforcing the activities of the security outfits?
Of course. For the ones that belongs to the federal government, the government, I believe, let me use the Ondo State as an example. Okay. The governor has been trying to at least strengthen them, assisting with provisions of vehicles and some other things that they need. So we know, and certainly I know, is doing a lot of other things that are not open to people because
security
issues of security. So with that, and again, he has strengthened the Amotekun. At the inception of his administration, you know, the security was so bad that they will even kill people and they will bring them to Akure, kidnapping and stuff like that. But now, even the ones that are kidnapped, look at the one that happened in Akoko, these two students, within a few weeks they were caught. The other one, was he a lecturer or a non-academic staff of Akungba? Within a few weeks they were caught. And look at several of them. And you find out that it's fine. There is no way you can totally eradicate criminality, either kidnapping or armed robbery. But the most important thing, do you have the effective security apparatus?
Let me know your view about something. Yeah. Now we have a peculiar case on our hands.
Yeah.
Security alert is not a tea party.
Yeah.
It's something that must be taken seriously, not with kid glove.
Yeah.
Now, isn't it high time that all security agencies did away with everything called the interagency rivalry and come together to really work for the success of the security of the people in this regard?
Yeah, there used to be a lot of news or allegedly the kind of rivalry between the security agencies, because they want to be seen to be the person that are really working, especially between the DSS and NIA, or between the police and the army and the NCDC and stuff like that. Even rivalry between Amotekun, because most times when the kidnappers were caught, Amotekun want to claim the glory. We are the people that police will say no, they were the people. You know, that kind of a thing. Fine. I think, like you said, it is high time they have to work together, especially in areas of banditry. They have to exchange information. They have to exchange a kind of strategy and work together so that it's not about rivalry. It's not about we are better than you. Every agency has its own specific role, and they are interwoven, interrelated. So it's not about rivalry, it's about achieving that goal. Then everybody will, because they all have the same commander-in-chief, who is the president. So they work under, they work for that same person, because along the line, everything still goes back to him. So there shouldn't be rivalry. I think there is less of that now.
Okay.
I think there is less of that now. There is less of that.
Well, before we close shop in the conversation today, let's still come back to Ondo State.
Yeah.
The Aida administration prides itself as bringing ease to the people of Ondo State.
Yeah, our ease.
Many criticisms are also coming up as far as that is concerned.
That's normal.
And then one would begin to ask, why is it that the Aida administration is actually facing issues of criticisms when it comes to performance?
Well, certainly you should know, in politics, the opposition is never satisfied.
Is the administration really doing well?
Of
For
course.
you to think that it's the opposition that is
Of course,
doing what it's doing?
of course. There is nobody who will score 100%, but I think Ayedatwa is well above average. He's doing. Look at go through what today. Now they are in the state hospital commissioning projects there. Look at the volume of roads that are being constructed. The government has started with the Igbatoro the Igbatoro road going to where my friend Emafon, where my friend is the Odlu Keshi. Look at Idore road. Look at Oda road has even been lighted. Look at the kind of at least it's giving Akure a little bit of the status beautification, because before, well, don't let me say things, but fine is doing that. Igbato road was last constructed by Adifrat. I was part of that administration. That was when we were constructing the dump site.
Okay.
So it was last, and the place has been so bad, and if you know the kind of volume of people that lives in that area, the place is being constructed now, and all these things are all over the place. Talk about the health sector, talk about the agric, but people are bound to criticize, because
are those not constructive criticism?
They are not, because they are not offering a better alternative. I see them as cynics, because if somebody is doing something and you want to criticize, then offer us your own alternative. What should he have done? Offer us your own idea. Okay, he's not doing the road, or he's not contributing to the health sector. Look at the massive reconstruction going on in primary schools. Subeb has given a renovation of primary schools as well. Creation of senior secondary school education board, secondary school education board. So what else to at least take care of the senior secondary schools, the kind of thing you have for the primary school and junior secondary school? He has created another board for the senior secondary school that will take care of infrastructure development of those areas. Now very soon the president will be here to commission. Look at what we have struggled for all these years. That is exploitation of the bitumen. And he has been able to attract investment, whereby by January next year they will commence work on 500,000 barrel per day refinery in the South Sinodora district. The British commercial officer was there, paid a visit. They are investing close to $40 million through joint ventures in Ondo State. That if you have an economy that $40 million is coming in, is that not worthy? So all these things are there, but well, People that will not see it.
Do you think the administration is communicating properly with the people?
Oh, well. Sometimes there are feasible projects that are there for people to see. Sometimes you want the work of your hand to speak for you rather than propaganda. So it depends on the kind of style it's adopting. It's all over the place. Look at the north. They are dualizing Akungba to Ikare. Look at the south. They are dualizing Okitikpa to Igbokoda. There are lots of massive projects going on. But the people that will still criticize will come around and criticize. That is it has never, you can't find that one thing in politics. Even when you have the best administration. When Aketi was there, people were criticizing. When Miko was there, people were criticizing. It is normal for the opposition to criticize.
What is the state of health of your party, the APC, if you feel that it's the opposition that's always criticizing? Is all indeed well with the APC in Ondo State? Of
course. The APC in Ondo State is one under the leadership of the governor.
How one is APC in Ondo State?
APC is one. We have never been factionalized. We still have one state chairman, Engineer Ade Adetime. We have a governor. We have the house. Even more people at the campaign. I think the house now has no opposition. It's all APC. And the party is growing from strength to strength. There is no faction. And the governor is providing the enabling leadership for the party. He has the kind of stakeholders meeting that people drawn from all the local governments, a minimum of 50, 60 people per local government.
Is your party not afraid of impending implosion, especially with the proliferation of support groups here and there in preparation for the 2027 general election?
Well, if you're talking about the support groups, fine. I just want to say most of them are not quite relevant. Maybe they might be having some other hidden agenda.
Not quite relevant.
Yeah, because
it's still within your party.
Yeah,
and yet you say that your party is.
People are free to support Tinubu. That's what I'm saying. And fine, but what I'm saying is that not relevant in the sense that, number one, the party ticket is indisputable for Tinubu.
Why? In a democracy?
In a democracy, because the president on seat has the first refusal. So I've never seen anywhere a sitting president, except his term is going to expire, even in America, that a candidate will rise up against the sitting president. It is taken for granted that he has performed and he will be given. It's just like the governors too. Bow, despite everybody wants to contest against him, the party says, look, and stylishly people, Kayode Ojo was disqualified. Every other people were disqualified.
Stylishly?
Yeah, well.
Not meritoriously.
Well, I wouldn't know, but he was disqualified.
Oh, no, you said stylishly.
Yes, yeah.
You have information, it's your party, so it is stylish disqualification.
Well, the fact is that he was disqualified, and every other people that could act as a stumbling block were asked to give him the opportunity. The only other woman stepped down and said, "Look." So that is that. If you have an incumbent, when Agagu was there, did anybody contest against him?
All right.
When Buhari was there within the party,
it's been an interesting conversation in the last almost 50 minutes or thereabouts with the Honorable Sunday Adejuigbe, and we've been discussing a lot of issues surrounding security and also development of Nigeria and indeed on those states. I thank you so much for coming on State of the State.
That has been my pleasure.
Thank you so much for coming. Everyone, it's been a good time having conversations on issues bordering on our safety and development. It returns next week, God willing. I am Sunday Kolawole. Please enjoy the rest of the evening.